Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 212 of Keeping It Real. I'm your host, jackkadis, and I think I'd like to be on call with Griffin. Problem is, you won't be able to hear his voice as smooth as usual. Hello?
Hey, I was wondering where you were.
I just pressed record for 212. It's a kind of a janky setup today because you're just going to be talking straight to the mic.
Okay, fair enough. Why?
Because I'm at home and I don't have my desktop because I've already pressed record, so I can't really, I'd have to go, I'd kind of have to download Discord. I could actually very quickly. Do you think it'd be worth it? I think probably would be because we're gonna do the same format. Where are you gonna be hanging out? Or are you gonna be leaving?
I was gonna go and get. I was gonna leave. I'm about to leave. But why?
Okay, I'll just keep my phone close. I'll do the whole episode. I don't know what your plans are, but
Are you were you gonna talk or you want to talk?
I'm just gonna talk for the whole episode.
Okay, then.
But I want you to be able to interrupt if you want.
Okay, sounds good. I can do this. Khalil says hi.
Hey Khalil, I love your comments, man.
Okay. All right. I'm just going to drop something off at Billy's. I'll mute myself if Billy is talking.
Okay. Probably shouldn't even have to do that, to be honest, because the phone's gonna be right here, so the mic won't even pick you up unless if you say something, I'm gonna bring the phone to the mic.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, so let me do a quick little ad read for you people. This is a 30-second. It's a 30-second ad, and it costs $5. If you'd like to buy it, please send me an email, leave a comment. Is my camera? Can you see me?
Yes.
Okay. But for today's ad spot, I'm going to be taking it for myself. And then I'll pay myself the $5 and then give you my own 30-second ad read where I advertise myself on my own show. I just made a really good Instagram reel. If you're interested in seeing what I do on Instagram, the link is in the description. If you're on YouTube, if you're on Spotify, just open a new tab. Type in jackkadis and I'll pop up. Okay, without further ado, let's talk about how this show is going to go down. We have 3 segments up ahead. The first segment is true to the title of this entire podcast. We're going to keep it real. I'm sure there's lots that I have to talk about today. I've had a very big day, and I'm home in the home that I grew up, in the place that I grew up, and it's going to get crazy, which is going to segue over into our second segment that is very much on topic. We're going to be talking about why nostalgia hits harder the older you get. It's a little bit different than I think some of our topics in previous episodes, but I selected this topic for our second segment is usually reserved for real world issues. We talk about things that are happening in today's day and age. So this isn't really on par with, for example, artificial general intelligence. We've spoken about Israel and Palestine, the economy. But I figure it is something that we all can relate to, and it is a very real world phenomenon. Nostalgia? Are you kidding me? I mean, I get nostalgic just waking up most days. And then finally, we're going to finish out the episode with a little bit of advice, philosophy, maybe some laughs, maybe some back and forth with Pimpin' with Griffin, who is a special guest in today's episode. I love the episodes when they go like this. It's the best because whenever he feels like it, he can just say whatever he wants to the camera, whatever he wants.
All right.
And you don't understand how awesome that is for me. I was in the car today. All right, this is the start of the first segment, just in case anyone's worried about lines and such. Now the first segment starts. I had a 2.5-hour drive with my dad today, and I got to tell you, my dad's getting old. Love the guy, but he's getting old. And we talked about everything. You know how a 2.5-hour car ride goes. And then now I'm home. I hung out with my little brother for 3 hours. I could have hung out with him for infinity. He's spending the night somewhere at some friend's house. And, oh my gosh, he beat me in basketball. That's probably one of the hardest things to admit, especially with a mic and a camera on me. Talk about stuff that I really go back and forth on whether or not I want to talk about it where everyone can hear me and see me. My little brother Ben beat me in basketball. And it's not even that he beat me. It's just that, like, it's such a combination of so many variables. It really stings. It hurts. And I don't know how to, honestly, I don't know how to, like, move forward. Like, I kid you not, there was a time when I could just beat him just by, like, breathing. Like, I could be 2 6-packs deep, smoke 5 blunts, and beat him on his best day. Like, he was just simply not big enough, too small, too fragile, you know? He would always let his emotions get the best of him. You know what I'm saying? But today I just made it a little bit hard on myself. Today I said, you know what, bro? We haven't played in a long time. There's a lot riding on this game, evidently, as we both know. We can feel it in the air, right? It's always a, like, will he play with me kind of thing on my end. Like, you know, as he's like, sometimes he's just, like, too cool to play with me. And I don't mean to say too cool. He's just got stuff going on. Obviously, I'm home and it's like vacation for me, but he lives here. This is like his life. So it makes sense that, like, sometimes he just doesn't have time to play with me. And, you know, he's always got soccer and stuff going on. Sometimes he's beat. But we both put tennis shoes on. We found some chalk, drew a 3-point line, and I could tell it was going down. I could feel it. And I wonder if he felt the same. But, like, I'm locked in. Like, it all starts up here in the mental with basketball. Like, you got to make those shots. And you got to pace yourself. Now, we normally play to 11, 1s and 2s. But today I said, Ben, let's go to 21. Because it'll give you an advantage. And this was my first little trash talk jab, right? Like, hey, kid, you're going to need all the help you can get. Let's go to 21, and maybe you'll have just a little bit of a better chance at beating me. You know, just before we got to the basketball court, actually, we were at Chipotle, and I kind of just threw it out there in the air. Like, what do you think? Like, who's better at basketball? And bro actually agreed with me. There was no trash talk, nothing. He was just like, yeah, you'd probably beat me like 95 out of 100 times. And that's what I had said, and he agreed with me. And so I was like, oh, it's like that. Like, this is my kingdom. Time to take my domain back. Welcome to the backyard court of me. I own this court. So, you know, it's been said. We're going to play to 21. We're set up. We're ready to go. And honestly, I come out of the gate hot. I don't know if it's placebo, but I've been running, and I just really feel like I'm in a very good spot. At least like over like a 90-day course. Maybe not so much in like a... I think I'm still down, like if you look 2 years, 3 years. You know, I've gained weight and all that. But like the 90-day indicator, I'm green. So I was feeling pretty good about my abilities. And I was also kind of locked in the head. Like, the ball felt good in my hands. I felt like I had him right where I wanted him. Like, out the gate, hot. I went up like 5-7, nothing. Seriously, I was on fire. Everything I was shooting was going in. You know, I was playing that genius defense. The defense, like, I act like I didn't care, but then in those moments when I just wanted to strip the ball from him, I did, and he couldn't react fast enough. And then it all came crashing down. Shot by shot, I would miss one, he would make one, I would miss one, he would make one. Now, I beat him to 11, and if we were to have just played to 11, I would have won. But were we? No. Did I lose? Yes. He played the game better than I played the game, and because of it, I lost. There was a time when I was down by 5, and he had 20. So it was game point. Next point, and he would win. And there's no way to sugarcoat this. I stopped him like 2 or 3 times. I stripped the ball from him. I played that extra defense. Added on that 20% extra for that defense. And I would get the ball back, and I wouldn't be able to score or keep it. So on his third time, for the third, fourth play that it was game point, he took a drive, spun, found the left, jumped, said that's game, the ball went in. And it's hard. It's hard. It's hard to be me in that moment. Really. I think I played it off gracefully. We didn't shake hands or anything like that. We were keeping score by tallies. We were using chalk to mark the score in the tallies so there'd be no dispute. Every time you score a point, you mark it on the chalk. And after that final basket went in, there was like 20 seconds of silence. And then he walked over and put the final tally on his side. And damn, it hurt. It hurt. Because now the question comes into play. Was that analysis of 95 to 100 games won by me accurate? Are we coming to a point where it will never be the same again? I don't know the answers to these questions. But I hate to lose. Especially to my little brother. I hate to lose. And I can't say for certain what's going to happen. I might not get to play him again for the rest of the time that I'm here. It could be months. It could even be a year before him and I 1v1 next.
It must be hard being an older brother.
Yeah.
As a younger brother, whenever I play my brother in a sport like that, it's like a win-win for me. If I lose, it's like, okay, whatever. It's my older brother. But if I win, I just beat my older brother, He's 3 years older than me, so it makes it that much better. But if I lose, it's not even a big deal. Wow, if you lose, there's like a lot more on the line, If he lost, not only did he lose, but he lost to his younger brother. And if he won, it's like, whatever. You just beat your little brother, whatever. So he doesn't have that pressure. It's interesting.
I can find the win-win in this situation. For me, the win-win is like, if I lose, at least I get to spend time with him. If I win, he knows that I reign supreme forever. And I had some good clips. I dunked on him a couple times. There was a couple times where like he would say something, then I'd switch to 3 and I'd let him know, hey, this is my court. But scoreboard doesn't lie. And I'll tell you what, spending time with him or not, I'm going to be ready for that next game.
Yeah, he's not winning that next one.
No way, bro. I think I let off a little bit. I took an early lead, and I forgot about the importance of pace.
Definitely. You underestimated. You think you underestimated him?
No, I think mistakes happen, and I'll get out there next time and
Post-game interview.
And play my game and play the game that I've always played. This is something I've been doing since I've been very young, and I've been coming back, and I've been continuing to do it. I do it over and over again. I wake up, I do it. I go to bed with the intention of doing it in the morning, and I do every single day. So I'm just going to keep on playing my game, respecting the game, and loving the game. Thanks so much for your time.
Oh, my gosh.
Okay. And then continued. So then after the game, we swam in the pool, and then I went and I decided it's always a scary thing for me personally when I do something a little bit extra for a day with videos. The way that I handle this video thing is I try to keep it the exact same every single day. And that's for the same reason that I want to pace myself to beat my brother in a basketball game. I believe that like the human superpower is pace. I want to keep the same pace unless I'm very truly intentionally saying, okay, today I'm upping the pace. But today what I did, and I already had a different big day, right? The pace is already going to be thrown off, arguably, just because I'm in a completely different setting. My equipment is limited. I'm stuck to a laptop, all that. But it's... What was I just saying? I completely forgot what I was just saying. I was talking about how pacing and, so I decide I'm going to start my videos, right? I have all these videos to make before I can go to bed. So I decided it's time to start while the sun's out. And first things first, I decided to go out of order. I think what I should have done is filmed keeping it real first, like I always do. Keeping it real always comes first. That's my first order of business. It just has been for a while, and it makes sense that way because it's the biggest time commitment when you look at, I guess, like straight on the clock. Like when this camera is rolling and these segments are underway, that's truly me on the clock. Like I truly must be present and positive and bring a certain amount of energy that would, entice you to come back day after day after day. So for that reason, it's like the most daunting of my tasks, I guess. It requires the most effort and the most, the most of myself in terms of showing up, I guess. So it's always just made sense to do keeping it real first. When I'm looking at a day's worth of videos, it's time for keeping it real. I always do it first. At least I try my best to. Keeping it real is actually the first of these videos that now comes out at the same time every day. For over a year, I just kind of post them as I finish them. But about a week ago, I got ahead of keeping it real by one day. And now it comes out 8:15 every single morning from the previous day, 8:15 a.m. So when this video, I don't know when you're going to be seeing it, but if you happen to be seeing it on July 29th, I can tell you it came out at 8:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time today. Continuing, not only did I decide to go out of order, right? And I think the rest of my time here in Charlotte, I want to come back to that order and that routine and do my best to really lock in on how I do this. But I also decided that for the jackkadis show, which is a 10 plus minute, I would say engagement oriented segment that also comes out on the same YouTube channel every single day. I wanted to be on top of a parking deck with the skyline of Charlotte in the background. Now, the way that I do my videos is, say on a normal day, right? I will have finished keeping it real already, and I will have done the thumbnail, posted it, all done. My next order of business is this Canon R5 to the right of me. I'm not going to pull it in frame, but a Canon R5. It's a very nice camera, nice lens. That camera shoots everything else. This camera is shot on a camcorder, I guess you could say, which is much more suitable for long periods of footage. But my Canon just has fantastic quality, and I just have landed on it as sort of like my workhorse. So the way that I do things is the jackkadis show is filmed as 120 separate 5+ second clips stitched together. So I break them into chunks of 24, and each chunk has 5 individual ones of these clips, and I do them back to back to back, marking tallies off as I go so I know where I'm at. Now, when I finish these 24 chunks, I have to go back and film 3 shots of B-roll per chunk. So I don't know what the 72, I think. 72 individual B-roll shots. And that's, just kind of the setting where I'm at. Whatever I find interesting, I put the camera on and I shoot it. I might actually drop that down to 2 seconds. We'll see. Anyway, I decide I want to... sorry, I have to continue my flow here. So then I do the 120 of my face with dialogue that I stitched together, and then 72 B-roll shots that will later be split into those segments of 3 and overlaid on top of my voice and the stitched clips. And then that's, a 10+ minute YouTube video with a nice thumbnail packaged really nice and uploaded. then it's time for short form content. So right off the bat, I have 3, I would say more just videos that I give a bit more attention to. Short form portrait content. And that is 2 for Instagram and 1 for TikTok. And don't be confused here. Everything I upload to any platform except for landscape videos, and there's only 2 landscape videos that go live each day for me, a Keeping It Real episode and the JackKadis show. Both of those are landscape. And those are the only things that are excluded, are the exception to what I'm about to say. All short form, no matter what platform it is uploaded to, what's the word I'm thinking of? Like the main, whatever its main platform is. When I say 2 videos for Instagram, those 2 videos also go on YouTube and TikTok. But it's kind of just how I keep track of it in my head. Instagram gets 2 videos, TikTok gets 1 video, and then I have 24 YouTube shorts to film. So, and I do this all, I roll the camera all at once. I go through this all like that. That's my workflow. And then when I'm done with the camera, I'm truly done with the camera. When I pop the SD card out, the only thing left is for me to put it from one computer to the next. And each computer handles different roles, and then I push it all online, and I can be done with that segment of my workload. There's a couple minor things that have to happen. I have to post a story with links to drive audiences from certain pages to certain pages. I have to shave, I have to take care of my budget, make sure I've walked a mile, and read a page of my book, and then I'm ready to go to bed. So I think it really, I'm not going to say it really fucked with me, but I decided I wanted Charlotte in my background, and I made it through all 120 individual clips that were going to be stitched together, and then like halfway through my B-roll for the JackKadis show. And then I decided to jump forward because I was like, while I'm up here, I still would like Charlotte to be in the background for Instagram and TikTok. So I made 3 shorts. And then I'm like, it's too hot, I have to go home. And I come home. And then like sometimes I get caught in these halfway times. Like I know that it's not reasonable or realistic maybe to say that I can get this hobby that I do, this daily hobby that I uphold. It's no longer reasonable for me to be able to get it done in one sitting, right? There has to be breaks. But sometimes a small break turns into a big break, and then it can be really hard to pick up where you left off. In this case, starting this Keeping It Real episode. But here I am starting it, and on that note, we will break from the first segment and do a quick ad read. This is a 30-second ad, and what I'm advertising is the ad spot itself. It costs $5, and if you're interested, keep in mind, you would be the first person to ever purchase an ad spot on this channel. Think about that. You, down in history, as the first person to ever sponsor Keeping It Real. Could you imagine that? Could you imagine that? Personally, if I were you, I would be chomping at the bit at an opportunity like that. Moving forward, we have the second segment of this episode. We're running a bit behind, but it's all okay in the grand scheme of things. We are going to be talking about nostalgia and how it seems to continuously hit harder and harder as we get older. Here I am in my living room. This is not actually my true childhood living room. When I was a kid, this room did not exist. It was added on when I was still a kid, but just a slightly older kid. The wall used to end right here to the left of me, and this room was the corner of the house where we had the family computer and a little TV, and it was also the kids' playroom simultaneously. I lost my first tooth in this room. There was a wooden bench that would always give you splinters. Always give you splinters. It was the Splinter King. You couldn't even sit on that thing without getting splinters. And I had I think a mini table for like building Thomas the Train wooden train set. And And oh my God, I can't believe this. When the wall was about to get torn down to add on the room that I'm sitting in now, I drew a Brazil mural on the wall. And it's like, that's what I wanted to be. I wanted to be a soccer player professionally. Weirdly, it wasn't like an actual like confirmed or believed desire. I don't know how to explain it. I think as a kid, I became extremely aware at a young age that I was extremely, I don't want to say powerless, but just a kid. Like, and I think that this is something that's very, very common amongst the youth in today's world with the internet and the intense information available at your fingertips, no matter your age, especially at a young age. It's like we wake up to the existential truths of adulthood at like, I mean, like as young as you can imagine. Like I remember, I have tons of funny stories, right? And honestly, I didn't have it that bad. Like, we'll put it this way. We had a family computer. If you get what I'm saying. Like, I didn't have it that bad. But, I think my parents had laptops and stuff. I don't know. It's hard to really to know the extent because, like I said, I was a kid. I only really know what I know. And I just know I don't know much. I remember that I had a babysitter called, I don't remember her name. Carly? I think it might have been Carly, actually, because that just sounds right. I remember, I think her name was Carly. And I was in love with her. I was completely in love with my babysitter. And I remember I, completely understood that, it was that just that just wasn't going to work out for me. I was, God knows how old. I needed a babysitter. It just was never going to work out for me. But I thought she was the one for me. And I remember secretly sitting, and I don't know, it's hard to say because this probably lasted for 2 weeks. But for some reason, I want to say the way that I felt makes me think back on this as something that was years, right? It's crazy how emotions can warp time like that. But it was probably just a 2-week thing. But within that 2 weeks, I completely understood the circumstances. And I remember, I think as a kid, especially being the oldest, and also having so much attention, which is kind of a symptom of being the oldest. I had so much attention, but the attention wasn't, just because you have attention doesn't mean people understand what's going on in your head. And I became very aware of that. I feel just very young. I became very aware that what's up here in my own head, is very well detached from others' understanding of me. So I remember this one time I was in the car with my mom, and I don't know, I want to say I asked her, I asked her some series of questions about our babysitter Carly. Is she married? Or could she marry me? And I remember asking those questions and the way my mom was reacting. And I was like, oh, my mom just thinks this is so funny and cute. I remember thinking that, but I knew that inside, it wasn't funny and cute and it was not a joke. I was truly in love with Carly. And that's that's nostalgia. That's what I think about when I think about that room and the train set. I can tell the story about how I got my front tooth knocked out, my first tooth that I lost, because I asked my little brother to karate kick me, and he had ankle socks on. It was a Saturday morning. But I'm not even necessarily sure how accurate that story is. If anything, I remember sort of adapting that story to have a story to tell. I think as a 16, 15, 14, 13, 12-year-old, I don't even know how old I was when I lost a tooth, probably 8 or 7 or whatever. I remember starting to grasp for stories to tell. I used to make really bad decisions because I would think this would be a great story to tell. And that's not a horrible way of living life, honestly. I won't say the thought of this would be a good story to tell never crosses my mind anymore. But back then, I just like really didn't understand who I was. And look, man, we keep on bouncing back and forth from back then into now, but it's nostalgia. It's the topic. I still don't understand who I am. But I think back on these times and this room that used to just be this square here. And I remember I had a big Sharpie, kind of the Sharpie that I'll use to draw the Keeping It Real logo on these thumbnails from time to time. And I absentmindedly just like had the cap off and was drawing all over the carpet. And we had a babysitter, and mom and dad came home from wherever they were, and I had just marked the whole carpet with deep, dark black Sharpie. I remember we had a Mac as the family computer, and I wouldn't be surprised if that's the same Mac. Like, seriously, that could be the same Mac right there that I played Minecraft on for the first time. After so long of just watching Minecraft, I finally played it. And I had begged my dad to purchase it. It was like $27 for the computer, and he did, and I had a trackpad. And because it was a trackpad, I didn't understand how to double click. It was extremely frustrating for me to boot the game up. And, I figured out how to click play and click create world right off the bat. But it was almost like I had watched people play this game. Almost like been in a trance with people playing this game. And I booted the game up. Dad bought me the game. And it wasn't like watching people playing the game. It was like I actually had to play the game. And it was incredibly, I don't know how to describe it. I remember I probably had like a breakdown because I couldn't figure out how to light the nether portal. I couldn't figure out how to get to the nether because I couldn't double click. And I didn't know you had to have flint and steel in your inventory, even in creative mode. And I was just trying to go to the nether, and I was like, this isn't what I thought it was going to be. Like, I begged Dad to buy this, and it cost money, and now I've got it, and it's not like, it was weirdly overhyped. Like, what am I supposed to do now? Like, I don't understand. And that's just the weirdest thing, because I would watch people on YouTube play it, and it was like, I thought that having the game would just be like, I would get to watch myself play it. I don't know how to explain this to you, but then the game was in front of me, and it wasn't like I don't have to watch myself play it. I am me, so like I play it, or else nothing happens. My character just sits there if I don't play it. And B, I guess no one's watching me, but how is that really relevant in this particular scenario? I already did my mile walk for today, and I walked up to my elementary school, and it's weird because, I think the best way for me to convey this nostalgia that I feel is through these like miniature stories, but I don't have to think of a story or a moment to feel nostalgic. It's just like some sort of state of mind as I walk down these streets and like smell the air of this place and exist. It's just like very like evident that like I have some sort of tie to all of it. And it's crazy to believe that this feeling that I'm getting right now, this nostalgic feeling, is just going to prevail and become even more prevalent as I get older, as time continues, because it's stronger than it's ever been. It's stronger than it's ever been. And I just can't imagine it's just going to get stronger and stronger. I just can't imagine that it's going to get stronger and stronger. Nostalgia. What was the topic word for word? Why nostalgia hits harder the older you get? Well, what purpose does nostalgia serve in the brain? there might be a sort of reward system mentally for remembering. The human brain is not meant for fine detail, long-term memory. Unlike a computer, we don't think back in numbers and videos and files. God, that scared the hell out of me. My tripod case just fell against the wall, and my heart just sunk. But we do think back with emotion and feeling, and it's like a deep sense of like, back then this mattered, and we can feel that. And there must be some reason for it, like there is all things. Before we could think and say things and, invent stuff, manufacture, go to space, all that, we were just having sex and surviving. And the ones that did those two tasks better were the ones that, reproduced over generations, and it leads to us. So we think back to all of these species that went, and the species that eventually turned into us, and it's like, what? Well, then, what? How can I tie back my feelings of nostalgia to a lizard crawling out of the ocean? I don't know. And I'm not sure how significant it is, but I do want to ask the question, because when you think back to it, you think, it's just like there must be some sort of explanation for why I am nostalgic, and why the older I get, I continue to become more nostalgic. What does the word nostalgia mean? To me, nostalgia is a fond remembering. And I think that's a good definition because it's small. I think the bigger you get with the definition, the worse off of a definition that it is, And nostalgia to me is a fond remembering. Fond meaning you enjoy it, and remembering being I guess that's the tricky word. Remembering. How do we define remembering? And that's really hard. I don't, off the bat, I'm almost at a loss. I'm not sure how to proceed with this. Remembering. What am I supposed to say? How can I begin to explain to you the word remembering? We could start with forgetting, but I just don't know. Would that be the best place to start off? How do you teach somebody a word? Remembering. I think the best place to start would be dividing the word into two words, so you can get a better sense of context. So there'd be short-term remembering and long-term remembering. And then you'd think, okay, well, this thing can be short-term and long-term, whatever that means. And then I'd say, nostalgia is long-term remembering. Maybe if a pretty girl tells you her phone number at the bar, and you go home and you call her up, just because you can recall the numbers that she said, you kept it up here, that's short-term memory. It's an interesting topic, and I really enjoyed sharing with you what I did about my babysitter, Carly. Carly, if you're out there, give me a call. All right, here is the end of the second segment. We're going to do a quick little ad read. This ad is 30 seconds long, in which I will advertise the ad spot itself. It's $5, and if you paid $5 to me and told me what you wanted me to say in this ad read, say, I can work with you, I can make things for you, we'll put it this way. If you did that, it would be my first ad read ever. You'd be my first sponsor. Keeping It Real as a show, you'd be its first sponsor ever. You go down in the history books forever. You want it, I want it. Let's come together and get something we both want. I think they call that a win-win. All right, our third segment today is going to be some philosophy. We're going to talk about whatever we want, really, advice. We're going to try and end the episode on a positive tone. I think what I want to talk about most today has to do with my physical state. I come home to Charlotte, and my brother just, looks great, eats great. I'm fat. And you might look at me and say, well, no, you're not fat. Well, I'll say this. I'm fatter than I once was. I have fat hanging off of parts of my body. And yeah, it doesn't, in certain times it doesn't, at certain times it certainly hasn't felt good. There's been times that I've really beat myself up about it and, gotten more fat because of that beating up on myself. But I really think I'm finding this stride where it doesn't matter what I look like. It just matters. And it doesn't even matter what I feel like, honestly. It's like I'm transcending how I feel because I can manipulate that to my own demise, For a while, I was like, oh, it doesn't matter how I look, just how I feel. And I would make these actions with the backdrop of, okay, well, do I feel okay? And you'd be surprised, the human body always wants you to feel okay no matter what you do to it. It's like this magical machine that always tries to get you back into neutral, no matter what the circumstances are. The extremely obese gentleman that drinks 8 Mountain Dew bottles a day will tell you that he feels okay. No one's going to look at you and say, oh, I'm 24/7 miserable. That's not true. And even if they are, then that is their definition of okay. That's their neutral, their balance. The human body is an amazing machine, and it prevails in the face of adversity always. So with that in mind, I can say that it doesn't matter what I look like, and it doesn't matter how I feel. What matters is what I do. And that is a sort of a freeing mindset for me. Because I come home and, Charlotte more than ever, I think it's because honestly, I believe this, it's a bigger city. There's just something about the energy here and the neighborhood that I live in and the people that I see when I come back that wakes me back up to, the truth of the situation, which is I moved away and I started to lean on junk food and I started to lean on laziness and I started to lean on the fact that I felt okay. And that's fine. You can't change the past. And if I had to think back on it, to be honest, I would say it honestly felt awesome. It honestly felt awesome. And I see Griffin nodding. And I know he knows a thing or two about this. But now, today, I find a lot of, comfort in knowing that it doesn't matter what I look like or how I feel. The only thing that matters is what I'm doing right now. And right now, I'm locked in on keeping it real, about to listen to whatever Griffin's about to say, and that's exactly what I should be doing. So there's no reason for me not to be incredibly grateful for the moment.
I think you hit the head right on the nail on the head with the hammer. I think that's what you just did.
I'll hit. I hit you in the head with the hammer.
Yeah, it was like you hit me in the head with the hammer.
Yeah, I hit you.
Listening to you speak, and I was like, bro, and I'm like fucking about to give up walking like half a mile. I'm like running like half a mile. I'm like, oh my god, like I'm like fucking dying. And it was like in that one scene of like fucking, Fight Club.
Yeah.
like the days of like laziness have made me weak, or whatever that fucking quote is. It was like you were like speaking that in my head. It was kind of crazy. But like, yeah, when you go back to Charlotte, it is like you kind of get fucking woken up. You're like, holy shit, like this is reality of like what I've been kind of living in my own bubble. And then I come back here, I'm like, bro, this is fucking real life. Like where you're at is like where you're at, and there's no sugarcoating it.
Man, you really should. You should move to New. This is why I want to go to New York City, because I think New York City is like the place to do things. You know?
It is. It's the king of things.
Yeah.
It's literally a city of things.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Dang, I feel like I just locked in hard. I got 15 minutes left, and I just want to sit here in silence and appreciate what I've just said. It's true though, you know. I think that that would be the advice of this segment. If you're to take anything away from episode 212 of Keeping It Real, it would be that the most important thing, you know, out of all the things, and if you're like me or like Griffin, then you're a dude, and you like logic, and you're borderline autistic. Welcome to the club, okay? It's, you know, sometimes it leads you to do hard drugs all the time. Sometimes it leads you to go viral. Sometimes, you know, it does all sorts of things to you. But what can you do with it? Well, I'll tell you. You can take a breath, and you can order every single instantaneous moment in time throughout your entire life, because you only get so many. You can order them all from most important to least important, just to get a better grip on what's actually happening. Feel more in control of everything, because each moment it continues to tick by all the time, like that. Every time you snap your fingers, you're in the next moment, and it's almost like it's going too fast. It's like if you just got hired at one of those Chinese factories, and they put you right on the conveyor belt, and the conveyor belt is moving so fast, and you're supposed to sort things, but you never got briefed, and everyone else around you is wearing protective gear, and you're just in jeans with no t-shirt, and you keep on missing stuff. People are yelling at you, and you're about to get fired, but you just got hired, and the conveyor belt just won't stop. Well, chill.
There's a guy in the front that's doing the job like that 3 people can do, and so that means like it's like really cool and satisfying to look at, but that means you're gonna be out of a job because he's so good at his job. Like he's so good at like closing taps, like closing tops and screwing them so fast. Like he can do the job of 3 people, and now they don't need to hire 3 people. They can just have him, and now you're out of a job.
You lost your job.
You're not good.
It's fine. You don't have a job. I have good news for you. It actually does not matter. Okay? It doesn't matter. Because just like the time a couple seconds ago when you were on the conveyor belt, the time now is now, like then was now. So continue on with the list. Listen to my words. Breathe. You just stack each instantaneous moment in your life, most important to least important. And you might think for a second that's way too big of a task. Like what? That is way too big of a task. But it's not. The list is fluid, and like each moment is always changing, the list is always changing. And the thing in the number 1 spot is always right now. Always right now. And then you're going to be like, okay, what's number 2? What's number 3? Chill out, all right? I just gave you this whole list idea. You need to chill out, because all that matters is number 1. And did you not hear what I just, number 1 changes every moment. All right, so do your best to keep up with moment number 1. Do your best to keep up with moment number 1. That's all you can do. Keep up with place number 1 in the list, moment number 1, which is this moment, now. I feel like I would be a great, like a motivational speaker that people would buy my CD and put in their Walkman. Even though I've never used a Walkman, I feel that I would like these speeches that I've been giving recently would be great to be burned onto CDs and played in Walkmans. That's kind of how I'm like picturing what I'm saying. But we got 10 minutes left in the episode, and it's sad to see this episode go, because like all episodes, I'll miss it. And tomorrow's episode is going to come, and I'm going to do it, and who knows what I'll say. But this episode,
You might say the N-word.
I might say the N-word. I've really been wanting to say the N-word.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Khalil will be disappointed.
Why can't I say that? I don't think he will be. I think it's just a word. And I think my plan is to stop. I think my plan is to stop bringing up how I want to say it.
He says say it. He says say it.
I will never.
I don't think.
What?
No, don't do it.
Don't say what?
I don't know. Why is it so silly to be so scared of the word, dude? What
word are we talking about?
You know the word.
Nigga? Oh my god.
Yeah, you did it. That's so funny.
All right, now the question is did I get it out of my system, or is this the start of something?
From now on, at the end of every episode, you say it.
Well, here's the thing.
Goodbye.
I don't clip my episodes, so wouldn't it be fun to just like hide it in as an Easter egg, like near the end of every episode? I just drop it into normal speech. I'll tell you what I'm not gonna do. I'm not gonna title this episode "I said the N-word." Not gonna do it.
Don't say it, dude. I don't even think you'd get in trouble for this, to be honest.
It's not about getting in trouble.
I feel like it's the intent.
It's like societal norms. I feel like I don't understand. Like it's like okay to challenge those. You know, like it's not like I'm breaking a law.
Yeah.
But it is scary. It is scary to challenge societal because like I don't want to end up alone.
It's so scary.
You know, I don't want to wake up tomorrow and Griffin won't take my calls anymore because he doesn't want to associate.
No, that'll never happen. I don't care what they say about you, Jack. I don't care what they say about you. They could say that you killed. You know what, Jack? If you were in another time span, you were Jeffrey Epstein, I would be your Donald Trump.
Oh, I thought you were going to go that direction. You remember that thing Donald Trump said? I could stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody and they'd still elect me or whatever.
Yeah.
And I would. He says I wouldn't lose any voters. That's what he said. And I wouldn't lose any voters.
Yeah. He probably, honestly, he probably wouldn't. I'm like at this point in time, I don't fucking know. I don't fucking know.
I feel like if he killed someone, he would have to lose voters. I think he would have to lose voters. It's murder.
Like there's footage of it.
True.
Donald Trump going like.
Yeah, they would need footage. They would need footage.
Someone.
Yeah, because if it was.
But then you just say no. That's AI. No, that's.
Oh yeah.
That's a lookalike. That's a lookalike. It's not me, but it's literally Donald Trump just sitting there, just.
Yeah, wait. AI is gonna really change up the courtroom for like super high profile cases.
That was AI. A few seconds ago, that was AI. That wasn't you. That was literally AI. Someone clipped that in with AI. Because
like video used to just like close books on court cases. Like, oh, it's on video, you're cooked.
Yeah.
But now they could say like that a completely real video is fake and actually argue that because it's innocent until proven guilty.
Yeah, now it's like videos are like out the window almost.
I mean, how do you even prove someone guilty? It's almost insane. Like how
Dang, so if you're guilty, then your lawyer's either really fucking bad or honestly, yeah. How do you be proven guilty? I was just talking about how I was arrested and how it pretty much just got expunged.
Yeah, I think part of it actually comes down to like the person that is up on trial kind of like conceding almost. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
they fold.
It's like it's like a weird fold. Like it's like they could still say they don't want to go to jail and like they could even say they didn't do it, but it's like I don't understand. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's like
It's like deny. It's like who's better at deny.
Yeah, it's like a weird like social phenomenon. Like,
Interesting. That is interesting.
because at the end of the day, like, yeah, at the end of the day, it's like, but then it's a really big, like, it's important that they have it as innocent until proven guilty, because the power of two voices versus one is just insane. And when you have an entire courtroom, or like, for example, the state, like if you have a DUI or whatever, it's you against the entire state. The entire state is behind whatever lawyer is trying to prove you guilty. And that is just like, thank God it's, according to the rules, you're innocent until proven guilty, because if not, you'd just be cooked. I feel like it's like if you walk into a party and you just get all four people to point at this one person and say he pooped their pants, like, at that point, it just becomes true.
He pooped his pants. It doesn't even matter if he didn't.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if he didn't.
That's so true.
It doesn't matter. He pooped his pants. Like, it's almost like
he pooped his pants, and thousands of years later, like when the scribes that have written the history and the events that have happened that day, he will be like, he pooped his pants, and then he denies it, but everybody knows he pooped his pants.
Everybody knows he pooped his pants, even though he denies it.
It's like he denied it until the day he died, but that's because he was embarrassed because he pooped his pants. Damn. That's actually crazy.
Or maybe on his deathbed he conceded and said, actually, I pooped my pants, even when
I did it.
Like, even though he didn't actually do it, they convinced him himself.
Damn, and then he's even more of an idiot. Holy shit.
Bro, because then you get really weird. Like, now it's not just about like guilty or not, it's about like, how do we know anything actually happens?
That's history, bro. That's why I think history could be so, like, up until, who fucking knows what history is right? Because, like, I mean, dude, think about it. This is how I think about stuff. Anything that's possible, anything that it has, like, the slightest chance of being possible is possible. And, even though it's a slight chance. So, is it possible that our entire history could be fake?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. So, as crazy as that seems, it's a possibility. It's not out the window. You can't be like, oh no, that's ridiculous. You're not like, it just doesn't make sense. Why would you deny it? Deny the possibility.
Yeah. You know what else is possible? The
I
world.
don't believe in dinosaurs.
The world.
I'll say it now.
We could all die instantaneously at the exact same time in 5 seconds. That's also possible.
Yeah, but that not really. No, not really.
It is. It honestly has the exact same probability of history not even having happened.
No, that's like the Earth exploding.
Okay, I find that to be on an equal playing field with the.
Honestly, you know what? Yes, it is. A nuke could kill us. A bunch of nukes could be launched, and so yeah, it is possible.
Yeah,
That is possible.
Yeah. How can you say?
Sure.
Yeah, because how could you say like history maybe didn't happen, but then say that there's no way we're gonna die?
I'm just saying the textbooks. I'm just saying. I'm not saying like the stuff. I'm saying the textbooks.
Oh, like everyone's just wrong about everything? I'd say that's very possible.
I don't think that they're wrong. I think that they've written something that they want you to believe. Like,
yeah. In a previous episode, I was talking about how history teachers will often give like traits, like he was very funny to like certain people in history. And it's like, how do you know?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like people, like history in Germany could be, or like not Germany. I mean, Germany's getting a little too. That's not where I was headed. I was just picking a random country. But history books in Germany could be totally different than history books here. I don't know that. I can't say for a fact it is. But I'm just saying, like, I'm sure history in different countries is different. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, like, based on, like, the things that are taught, like, I mean,
yeah,
they focus on different stuff. And there are...
it could be totally... I'm saying it could be totally... fucking different.
Like to the Germans, like the
like North Korea. totally different
Oh,
world.
well, North
Like,
Korea
that's a
is an
totally different
exception.
world.
Yeah, North Korea is an exception because they're not a
Well,
part of.
not really.
What do you mean?
Well, like, how many people have you talked to from Nigeria?
Like 5 or 6. On that note, that's the end of episode 212 of Keeping It Real. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Goodbye.